you kind of fell for the same scam as me. India definitely is doing a lot in software.
So in 2022 I was the best performer. कंपनी को पता है किसको गिफ्ट देके खुश करना है, किसको पैसा देके खुश करना है, because clearing the interview is not a big deal, you know.
Hey, hi Ashutosh. Guys, I'd like to welcome all of you for the Hall of Fame show, which we normally have. So, guys, today, like we have a very like a different kind of a guest today. Okay, he is an experienced person. Like, okay, he's an old Sharpenerian, like who had passed out a long time back, like roughly in 2021, right, Ashutosh? Like 2021 is when you graduated from Sharpener, yeah. So, guys, so he had graduated from Sharpener. He had gotten a good job also, okay. But due to some problems, okay, like after 2 years, he worked there, okay, like he worked in that company and he worked really well, okay, like he was one of the outstanding performers as well. But due to some personal reasons, he had to quit in between, okay. And then he came back to Sharpener again, okay. And then we again tried to get him a good job after that, okay. And that's why like the marketing team has also started calling us like an LIC agent, okay, कि sharpener placement के साथ भी placement के बाद भी, okay. But yeah, I think the moral over here is कि like what we essentially want to become, okay, like as we've always been telling कि we not like your colleges, right, like the colleges where you've been to, okay, what we've always believed is कि our responsibility, okay, as like sharpener, okay, like our responsibility towards all of you stays there forever, okay. It doesn't end with one placement, okay. And I think today also, like with Ashutosh coming on board, we'll talk a lot about what was his journey like during, I think, 2 years back, like what was Sharpener like 2 years back, and now when he joined, what was it like this time. And also we'll talk about a lot about like on the other side, like right now you guys are all freshers, okay. So you guys don't know exactly like what it becomes, like what it takes to become an experienced individual, like how does corporate life change your life altogether, okay. So Ashutosh would throw light on that, and as well he'll try to throw light upon the opportunities which open up once you're a little experienced, okay. He'll throw light on those type of stuff. And yeah, also he'll talk a little about tech, okay. How does interviews and everything changes when you're experienced, okay, compared to as a fresher. So very interesting session this is going to be, guys, and very insightful, okay. I think we've never had such a session before. Mostly we've talked about fresher interviews, but this is the first time we've introduced, we brought about an alumni who's already gone through the same path as you, okay. And he's going to talk about what next, okay, what happens once you reach the other side, okay. And then how do you reach like levels after levels after levels on top of that, okay. So okay, Ashutosh, welcome to the alumni show. Yeah, Ashutosh, thank you for being here.
So thank you for the introduction. So hi guys, my name is Ashutosh. I have a 2 years of experience in backend technology. So basically, I was not a part of a computer science in my engineering. I did my electronic and telecommunication in my college. But so we used to have a technical fest in our college. In the technical fest, we used to have robo wars, robo racing, robo line followers. From that, my coding journey started. So I started to code for the line follower robo race, and then that we used to have that mess robo race. In the mess, how you prepare your algorithm to take the fastest, choose the fastest path for the mess. From there, my actual journey started for the coding, and then as you guys know, in the engineering, we have to do all our final projects. In that, we need some of the coding skills, and being an electronic and telecommunication part. I think I had both the opportunities. We also know how that hardware tech side work in the computers and how the software works on top of that hardware.
Understand. I think Ashutosh, I think you kind of fell for the same scam as me. Okay, like so when I was also joining college, na, I also had the opportunity of taking CS, and also I had the option of taking electronics. Okay, so the way I also took ECE. The reason why I took ECE was this thing only. Ki you get to work on both, like
Yes,
hardware and software. Okay, but yeah, at the end, uh, like at the end, what happens is that you get to learn a lot more about hardware, but very little software is what I saw.
correct.
Yeah, and then the problem starts when the job thing starts. You don't have any hardware jobs. Like only if you do an MTech is when you get a job, right? That's one big problem which I've seen with electronics and communication folks. I think with all the non CS folks, yeah, right. That's one problem I've seen. So tell me about this in Ashutosh. Like what like when did you start coding in general? Like as in like when was your start? As in was it in college? Was it before college? Or
So it started in the engineering college. The
engineering
first
college?
I actually coded for the Roboline, and from there I started to actual coding started. Then with the when the CES friends, computer science friends, we started to make projects, websites, and all that kind of stuff. So from there, the journey started.
Fair enough. So, okay. So, now tell me about this thing. Like, okay. So primarily, like you've not coded before college, right? Like in that, like one, like normally you get like one or two subjects around coding in college. That too also tend to finish it very quickly, right? Like they tend to finish the entire DSA thing in 6 months, and they rush through it. Okay. Like so, the what I saw was like people who only knew coding in school days, they were the only ones who could understand what the teacher was teaching. Was it the same experience for you, or like you understood
I think
everything?
so. In my case, they in college they do not used to teach DSA for the ECE students.
Okay.
So not even the HTML and the CSS. We only had the opportunity to learn the Python because we have to code for the census part of things. So
Okay.
from there we learned the Python, and from there actual because that was kind of a backend side. तो backend में होता था. But what grabbed my mind was like people were coding in the HTML and CSS, and we are quickly getting the interface to show कि ये बदेक हमने बना दिया, तूने क्या किया. So from there, actual the software part started.
Mm-hmm. Understanding, understanding. So now let's come to Ashutosh. Like I think the part where like after college, okay, what why do you decide to like basically go towards coding and not stick to electronics? As in any specific reasons, or was it
The market. So
the market?
in the Indian industry, the hardware kind of things are not being that kind of researched. In specifically in the Indian, the hardwares are not being researched, and the tech IT side and the tech sides are getting very much research. Like AI is coming, machine learning has come, and every other things are come. The job opportunity is more there than the in the hardware kind of field. Even
Mm-hmm.
some of my friends are there who are like working in the core hardware right now, but like they are at another level. We are at another level right now.
Fair enough. That's a very fair point. Ki India definitely is doing a lot in software. And I'm very confident like in the ML and AI war, like maybe India would come out as a superpower. Let's see.
Correct.
Let's see where it is going. But I think a lot of things are happening in India right now. Like a lot of futuristic technologies are being built in India, and that's amazing, right? Like I think over here, like one thing which I would like to talk about over here is like uh, whenever we've gone out of India, okay, like I think recently like Vaibhav from Vaibhav, he'd also gone out of India somewhere. Where can you explain like what had exactly happened over there?
So basically, like wherever you go, right, like you will be given some sort of band or tickets, right, which is very easy to mock, right? Being Indians, you can actually find out a lot of mockery ways through which you can actually get away without buying a ticket because they just have a screenshot which you can actually edit and you can present it to them. We also thought of doing it, but we did not do it because it was obviously outside India. So, but yeah, but then the thing is, there is so much of things which they are lagging in, right? Like in terms of tech wise, right? Like they are easily 5-6 years behind what India was, right? Like they are right now, I think the 2018 version of India, right? Where we were not having that much tech, right? Over there, like I just out of general curiosity, I was trying to understand like what are the employment areas, right? And like the tech area is very limited, right? Very limited. So that is the thing, right? And I think so. That is what is benefiting India a lot, right? Like if you go to any UAE based countries or like anything, right? Anywhere you go, right? India, you will find that like they are outsourcing all of their work to India, right? Because they don't know anything about tech, right? And that is what is happening, right? So
Yeah, moreover, like I remember this is like long time backstory, like 2018 or 2019. Like when you book, like right now, book my Shoka, there is some clone in Dubai also. Okay. But like over there, like once you book the ticket would come after 24 hours. Okay, so basically we had booked a ticket over there. Okay, and we had to show that ticket. Okay, like we paid online and everything. Okay, the payment and only collected that moment only. But the ticket, they are saying it will come tomorrow. So today you cannot go for that show. But yeah, I think I think India definitely is doing a great job in these areas. Okay, so Ashutosh would want to understand. Okay, like I think the normal track only. Like you did electronics and communication engineering, did not find a lot of scope over there in terms of jobs and all. Came to Sharpener, I'm guessing. Okay, and then you studied over here and you got a good job. Okay, I think normal track we can, but would want to understand one thing from you, Ashutosh, like from your perspective, like 2021. Okay, right now you again joined Sharpener. Like, what did you felt that has changed right now, Ashutosh?
So basically, previously we had only Yes Sir and Webov Sir in our team. They were the only two pillars who were handling the whole sharpener team, all the teaching stuffs also, plus handling the students' query, negotiation, HR side. All the communications were done by Webov Sir and Yes Sir. But right now we have the whole bunch of team in the sharpenerians, like who are available for you at any time. Like they are like understanding your situations. They are understanding like what kind of situation you are facing, so that kind of help they are providing you. Like I had very great team. Like when I again joined the sharpener, they were all the time they were with me. All the time मैं उनको जब भी text करने का हाँ हाँ देख रहे check कर रहे, they were all the time they were there with me. I used to even call Yes Sir, so Yes Sir से भी बात होती थी. So I think the team has grown, and even if you see the structure side right now, previously the portal for the sharpeners were totally different than it is right now. Now you have a competition kind of thing in your teammates only. You are scoring some points, and after then only you are going ahead. Previously, it was not like that. Previously, you can like a score. Previously, the scoring points were there, but you can still go ahead without, even if you have not scored the point, you can go to the next stage. But right now, it is not like that. If you are not capable of going to the next step, then you are not going. That's the fair point. You have to score, you have to learn first this basic thing, then only you are uh, uh, eligible to go to the next round. Correct? That's how the interviews also work. So even in the learning phase, if you are not eligible to learn that, then we should not go learning. We should first clear our fundamental. I think that's the very best thing has happened in the portal side right now.
Fair enough. I think Ashutosh, like also would want to understand from you. Okay, like right now, like would want to understand from you, like how has the market changed over the years? As in, like say 2021. Okay, and right now when you again started looking out for jobs, what do you feel has changed? Like from back then to right now, like when there's a funding winter going on.
So I think the market has changed a lot in the 2021. Like we had a lot of opportunities, like in the companies where like hiring in the bulk hiring was happening in the 2021. In the startups also there was a bulk hiring happening, not only in the TCS Infosys. Startups were hiring like in the bulk. But right now the situations are kind of different. Like right now the employees are like leaving the companies. You know, like I can give an example. Like right now WFO is like very in demand. All the companies need WFO. The employees are leaving the company to find out the other companies who are providing WFH. So right now the employees are looking for
Work
more
from
job rather than
office.
the companies
Okay.
who are taking that. The market
Okay.
is like vice versa right now. You can say like right now the companies are asking the employees to come to office, correct? but the
Mm-hmm.
employee has been like working from 2 3 years like from the work from home, so they have been that kind of what we call, मतलब वो culture में भी आ गए work from home के, so they don't want to leave their comfort zone and go to the office. So the employees, the market for the employees का market अभी बढ़ गया है, who are looking
Mm-hmm.
for the job.
Okay, understand. And also, like I'll say one more reason over here for I think a lot of competition is कि मतलब I think funding has stopped. A lot of startups are
Like,
not getting
I can give an
funding.
example. Like in my previous company where I had 2 years of experience, like in the Jan they had their funding round to raise some money, but they were not able to get the funds. Right now the
Mm-hmm.
cash flow has stopped in my previous company, so that kind of things are also happening in the startups right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is where the problem has started from. But ठीक है, मतलब that's I think it's all a phase. Let's see by when it gets sorted off. Yeah, but at the end, like see, what I have seen over the years, na, कि once you get the experience and once you get the market also corrects. It's like all like back in like I'll say 2020 also when like COVID had all of a sudden come. There was a big like gap where people were not hiring at all. Okay, like they were not even certain ki, we have a future also or not. Like, are we going to live through this wave or not? So that happened, and then that wave was a little long, short lived. Okay, like 6 7 months, and then a lot of hiring happened. This wave definitely the funding winter is there, has been there for some time now. Okay, but I'm also now seeing ki, like maybe funding has still not started, but expecting ki, like every cycle to end, like this cycle would also end and the funding would again start and things would become back to the normal state. Yeah. So, ठीक है, Ashutosh, I think next thing which I would want to understand from you is कि I would want to understand a little bit about your job, okay, like your job roles and everything, like the where you were working. Okay, let's first start off with you. So you were there for roughly 2 years, right, in your current job. Okay, so tell us like about your roles and responsibilities. Like how did it like when you joined? How did as a fresher and how did it evolve over the years, Ashutosh?
Okay, so I can tell the whole story. I had a very great experience in the Valify in my previous company. So most of the like the experience kind of side of thing of the corporate I have learned in the Valify only, how to handle the clients, how to give the deadlines and every other thing. So let me start. So when I joined the company, so I was working on the live projects which were already live. I was working on the feature sides. I was working on the bugs for the maintenance side. So after 3 or 4 months, I had an opportunity to work on a project called Avendus, which was working from the scratch. But that client, Avendus client, was very hyper kind of client. He used to give very little bit about of timelines. If the you can say that if the normally if you work 8 hours in a day, so one feature will implement in 7 to 8 days in working days, but he will give you only 4 days. कि तुमको 4 दिन में अपने को ये काम करके देने का. So so we were knowing that kind of things will happen, and so for the 3 months, 3 to 4 months, we had like 5 to 6 members of team of the QA and the one senior tech guy and one from the front end guy. From there, I learned what actual the corporate is. From that, after the third or fourth month, how the actual corporate works, how the actual client gives you the features, how the whole software life cycle works from the start till the end till you take it to the live. That whole thing I learned there. And second thing, how you can handle the pressure. That thing I have learned there. And
Understanding.
I will I will like to say ki like in corporate you get an opportunity, but everything has its own price to pay. So if you're ready to pay the price, you will learn. If you're not ready to pay the price, then it's like a normal life. Then you're going to live in corporate.
Interesting point. So, Ashutosh, tell me, would want to understand from you how did you handle so much pressure?
So I think I will give this to my manager. So he was a very good guy. His name is Aditya Shetty. He is a very good person. Like he's 3 to 4 years younger than me. We had a very good, great bond. We never had a bond like manager and an employee. हम एक साथ बैठ के ब्रो चिल करके मतलब हम मतलब काम करते थे. So I can tell you my work cycle for the 3 to 4 months to tell me how much pressure I was at that time. So we used to go to Bandra, BKC. We used to go to BKC. There I used to reach at 11 o'clock. My office time starts at 10, but I used to stay far, so I used to reach at 11. My company was very okay for the timing. तुम 10 बजे join करो, 4 बजे चलो जाओ, कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ता. Work used to happen. So at that kind of, so I used to reach at 11. We used to work till 8 o'clock. After that, I used to go at home again back. I and my manager used to sit again at 12 o'clock in the night. And then we used to work again at 4 o'clock till the morning. And then we used to sleep. And then again, we followed this for the 3 to 4 months. And
Understanding.
then we got that project live.
Nice. I think over here, like if you have the right set of manager, na, like as in like a manager who's patient and who's good, like even working hard doesn't hurt that much,
Correct.
right?
So my manager used to say one thing, like, so sometimes the work he used to do and I used to do differ. But whenever I used to sit in the night, he used to sit with me. कि देखो अकेलापन नहीं फील होना चाहिए कि that you are only the one who is working for the company.
Nice, nice. That's like a proper leader also. Yeah, Vaibhav.
Another thing is like, see, managers, you have to become, like, you have to get their trust, right? Like, initially, they will not trust you. And you will also feel that, okay, he's a manager, you'll not try to get friendly with that. And obviously, starting May, obviously, it does not make sense to get that friendly. But you need to get that trust, right? Like, once you get that trust, things like that bonding starts happening, right? Like, he'll start trusting you, he'll start telling you all those pain areas, right? Because obviously the manager is also a human being. He wants to get the things done correctly, and his promotion also lies on those set of things. Like if the team is working well, right? So he will always make sure that you also get the right set of projects. Right? You have to discuss all of those things with them, right? And that is very, very important. Right? And
that happens when you are the asset for your manager.
Correct.
Until you are not the asset for your manager, till then your manager is not going to take any steps for you.
Definitely. Yeah, you have to prove yourself.
You have to prove yourself that you can do it.
And over here, I think so. Normal thing which I always say, I think in each and every webinar which I have, once you guys get placed, I think I know it's a very happy moment and everything, but once you join a company, I think like the first 2-3 months you should like work very hard. You should, because first impression matters over here. Like, once the first impression is a little, I'll say dheela, or if it's a little loose, na, then that impression kind of stays. Ki, okay, this guy he's not that good. So they'll not give you that many good responsibilities. So yeah, first impression I've seen, like, it matters a lot. Yeah.
Push
After
beyond
that,
your limits.
Yeah,
Pushing beyond the limits is very, very important. Right?
Okay.
Like if your manager is giving you 1 or 2 projects, make sure that you're delivering those on time, right? It's not that, okay, 1 hour late, 2 hours late, just because, even if it's like compromising on your sleep cycle or something, do it. It's just going to stay there for 1 or 2 months. Once like you become comfortable with the technology, the tech stacks, then things start becoming normal. So Ashutosh, tell me one thing, right? Like, so what is your next 5 years plan, right? Like, so like you have work in Valify, you have seen a high pressure environment, right? What are the set of technologies? So right now you have got in place again, right? So what is your next 5-year plan, like that you're planning, right? Like what are the set of technologies you would want to work on?
So I have 2 years, I think so. When I came to Delhi, right now I'm in Noida, Delhi. So I think so there are 2 places for the startup culture: Bangalore and Noida, and Delhi and Gurgaon. And the Mumbai is kind of a corporate place. So in the Mumbai, I have learned the corporate. Here I'm learning how the startups are working. You know, in my different cabin, there are people like smaller than me, younger than me, but they are running startups. So I'm seeing how these kinds of people who have just passed out a previous year and they are running startups right now. So that kind of things I'm learning right now in Delhi, and I have learned many things from them. Right now I've been here only for like 20 to 25 days, but I've learned many things of startups. So my future plan will be to get into the depth of the full stack and the DevOps. Like on my all alone, I can handle the whole tech team, and then start some kind of startup things in the B2B market, not the B2C market. I have
Okay,
learned this thing from these guys. You should start always the startup in B2B market, not B2C.
nice, nice. So tell me about this thing. You talked about corporate and startup. How are they different? Like, what is the Mumbai? How is the Mumbai culture different from the Gurgaon or Delhi culture? Like, interesting
So
concept.
you will find a kind of politics in the corporate kind of culture, you know.
Okay.
But in the startup kind of culture, you are not gonna find, because everyone is like working hard to make that happen. Correct? वहाँ पे
Hmm.
pitching वाला system नहीं चल रहा है कि कौन काम कर रहा है कौन काम नहीं कर रहा है. Everyone
Hmm.
is working hard and everyone is supporting, and you're gonna learn many things. Like, you are not a developer there in startup. You are handling, you are team managing, you are handling the proper like SEO kind of things. You're doing many things. You are gonna learn many things in the startup.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That is definitely there. You have to do it all. Yeah.
You have to do it all.
We understand. ठीक है. Ashul, I wanted to understand like at Value 5. Okay. Tell me about like your accomplishments. Like what was your like biggest accomplishment at Value 5? Like
So in 2022, I was the best performer because of that
okay.
Avengers project when I made it live. So I can tell you one thing. So we were having a New Year party in 2022. So so my manager taught me this thing. So he taught me like there are two kinds of employees in the companies. Okay, and management knows that what kind of employees, who are what kind of employees. So in the New Year party, people were getting gifts. Okay. So the whole Avengers teams were standing who made the project live, and they were getting nothing. They were just standing there and seeing, and we were discussing, यार हमने इतना काम किया अपने को कुछ मिल ही नहीं रहा है. Then my manager said कि कंपनी को पता है किसको गिफ्ट देके खुश करना है किसको पैसा देके खुश करना है. तुम लोग गिफ्ट में खुश नहीं होने वाला है. तुम लोग को पैसा चाहिए रहेगा. Then my
Nice.
manager taught me that.
Nice, nice. So that's very interesting. As in, like, हाँ ये तो सेंसिबल ही है मतलब जिन्होंने बहुत हार्ड वर्क किया है डेफिनेटली
हाँ.
उनके लिए कुछ एक्स्ट्रा तो बनता ही है. So tell me about this thing ना. See, you joined Valuefy, okay? I wanted to understand कि see, like there were other freshers also. I think they also hired from like some tier one colleges as well. I think when you were also getting hired. So tell me about this thing, basically what changes did you see in yourself compared to those normal freshers? Because you were already trained and you had a lot of understanding of everything. So what was the difference between you and the other freshers, like who are not star performers?
Correct. So the when you go to the company, when you go to the company, kind of a corporate world where in-house projects are working and other kinds of projects are working, they have their own codes written. So when the fresher comes in, they hesitate to do any kind of changes in that codes because obviously बात है कि हम fresher है कुछ change हो गया फट गया. We don't have that kind of confidence. When you go from the sharpener, you have that confidence that you start making the changes, you start doing the implementation right away. As the requirements comes, you are not hesitating to do any kind of changes because you know how the codes are working, how the structure is of the project. But the people who are coming like just only following the YouTubes and like random year stuffs, they are just joining as a fresher because clearing the interview is not a big deal. You can like learn from here and there and here and there. You can just, but actual work start when you enter in the company. We people have might seen the memes कि इंटरव्यू कुछ अलग ही पूछते हैं पर ऑफिस के अंदर काम कुछ अलग ही होता है. दैट्स द रियलिटी एक्चुअली. कि इंटरव्यू क्रैक करना इट्स एक्चुअली डिफरेंट बट व्हेन यू जॉइन द कंपनी इट्स एक्चुअली डिफरेंट. सो वो जो
Understand.
शार्पनेरियंस होते हैं वो जाते हैं उनको पता होता है कि कोड कैसे आ रहा है कोड किधर से आ रहा है.
I think in Valuefy, like we have like close to 6 or 7 sharpener in there. Like I think, and all of them are like top performers, right? Like
Correct. I know many of them are like my good friends. They are still in the Valuefy right now.
understanding. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, I think so. Like I would want to understand, like preparation wise. Okay, tell me about like what changed. Okay, like say when you were a fresher compared to when you are an experienced person. Okay, what changed? You like what did you feel changed?
Okay. So 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 let's go with an example. So when as a fresher you are giving an interview, the interview, the person who is taking your interview, he checks only your fundamentals. Like if you are able to solve the problem, if you are not able to solve the problem, like they are like little bit ठीक है कर लेगा बंदा if you are solving the problem, some of them, and not solving. But when it comes to the experience and the things which you have mentioned in your resume, वो तो मतलब आपको आना चाहिए. You should know at a very well at the very depth level, because if the interviewer is asking you one question and you're giving him the answer, he is going to ask again questioning your answer only. So you should have a kind of a depth knowledge when you're anything mentioning in your resume. Like ये मैंने देखा है, like in my experience, the company is using some technologies and the employees are writing in their resumes कि ये चीज अपने को आती है, but they have not worked in that kind of technologies. उनकी company वो चीज use कर रही है, but you have not worked. So when they go into the interview, वहाँ पे फिर वो हो जाता है कि भाई अपने को तो आता ही नहीं है वैसा. देखो actual में the company starts to go, the interview starts to go into the deep asking questions. So that kind of things happens, and like whatever the knowledge you have, you should have in a depth. मतलब
I
आधा
think
अधूरा
this,
knowledge लेके you cannot
uh,
go in the experience kind of interviews.
They,
I just,
they tend to basically validate, like basically in colleges also you used to be, like everyone used to have projects, right? Like where there used to be a team of 3 to 5 people, and there was only one person who was writing the code. So probably
Correct.
they also know that. They tend to validate who is that coder, whether you were the coder or whether you were among those 3, 4 people who were just taking the credits.
no, I think this kind of reminds me like when I was also interviewing, like first company say when I was also switching as an experienced person. This I can totally relate to this. Ki I actually removed like I'd written a lot of things initially, like React JS, Node JS, even Python I wrote. Okay, whereas I did not work a lot on Python, and then they used to ask me some random question out of Python. So one fine day I went back home, I removed Python ka A to Z. Okay, everything I removed, and after that the things became a lot easier. Okay, so yeah, totally relatable. I think so. This जो भी लिखोगे resume में, whatever you say, they'll question you on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And because they want to know okay, how much, like if you do something, do you do it properly or do you just do it for the sake of doing it?
correct.
Makes sense. So yeah, I think last few questions may I would want to understand na, ki, see right now like what type of questions were you asked in the interview, like as an experienced person, like what were the types of questions that, if you can give us some light on that as well.
Okay, so DSA is for everyone, for experience, for freshers, for everyone. DSA will come for everyone, and then after the DSA, like you should always prepare hashing in DSA very well. You should never leave the hashing part in DSA. मतलब जितना हैशिंग पे क्वेश्चन सॉल्व कर सकते हो हैशिंग पे कर दो. हैशिंग के बहुत क्वेश्चंस आते हैं डीएसएस. And then second thing is like it comes to the database designing, enhancements, how you enhance your APIs. They ask you from start to the end. They will give you the problem statement and they will see you how you approach the problem rather than solving it. How you're approaching to enhance your like APIs, how you're approaching to enhance your like project, and even like how if the database failures happen, the transaction failures happen, what will be the step you will take after that. All that kind of things they start to ask are asked in the experience. In Node.js, maybe they will go in a very deep topics like clustering, threads, memory management, memory leaks, all that kind of things. How you handle that kind of things. How do you handle server?
Understanding. So, would want to understand, Ashutosh, last few questions only. Ki, I would want to understand, ki, like, say, right now, there are freshers who, well, I think 98, 99% of the candidates who are watching this today are freshers, okay? So, can you throw some light on, like, how, as a piece of advice, like, how should they go about preparing, or anything, any piece of advice which you would want to give out to them, Ashutosh?
Project banao, guys. Make projects. The more projects you make, the more real projects you make, the more understanding you will have to solve the problems. Because in the real projects, you will find the real problems you are facing when you are developing the projects. हम मतलब we I will tell that हम clones बनाते हैं Amazon के ये सब के. That's actually not अगर आप क्लोन में भी फुल स्टैक बना रहे हो, एक्चुअल Amazon फीचर्स बना रहे हो, then that's very great thing. But खाली क्लोन बना के रख दे रहे हो, then that's not a great thing. So मतलब
है ना?
solve the real problems, because after solving the real problems, you will face the real problems in tech sites also. See how this thing is working in the tech side, how this feature is how we are solving in the tech part. So वो समझेगा ना. And second thing is कि ये मैंने देखा यहाँ पे अभी 2 interns है. I'm leading a 3 people's team right now. Yeah, so I've seen in the people like they are more focusing on coding. मतलब कि if else loop, for else loop, ये kind of loops, and they miss how to approach the problem. They never make steps like before writing a code. If you have come some problem statement, write some steps कि तुम उसको कैसे solve करने वाले हो. Then start writing the code rather than सीधा jump करके code लिख रहे, for loop लिख रहे, if loop लिख रहे. So वो मतलब it's not gonna help. खाली experience बंदे में और fresher में यही फर्क होता है. Experience knows how to, he has in his mind the steps कि कैसे वो problem statement को solve करना है, और fresher के बंदे में वो चीज नहीं होती है.
हाँ, fair point. I think so.
फ्रेशर को लगता है कि जो सबसे तेज भागेगा वो सेलेक्ट हो जाएगा. तो बट देन एक्सपीरियंस वाले को पता है कि अगर पहले सोच लिया कि शॉर्टेस्ट डिस्टेंस कौन सा है तो तेज भागने का जरूरत नहीं है. Correct. So that is what is important, right? And I've been telling this thing very oftenly, like don't jump to the problem statement. सोचो पहले, एक बार समझ आ गया, लॉजिक समझ आ गया, प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व मतलब प्रॉब्लम का सॉल्यूशन समझ आ गया, देन कोड लिखना is like easy, right? Like once you have understood it. If you have not understood it, no matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to solve it.
And the companies pays us to solve the problem, you know, not to write. मतलब कोड तो मैं गूगल कर लूंगा कि कैसे for loop लिखते, if loop लिखते. If I don't know, but if I don't know the steps, तो वो गूगल नहीं कर सकते हम. वो हमें मतलब एक्चुअल में सीखना चाहिए.
That is true. So I think one last question which I have over here. Okay, a lot of freshers over here, and a lot of them are scared. I think of ChatGPT and all this generative AI which has come. Okay, I get to see all these demotivating videos very frequently. So what is your take on Ashutosh, on like ChatGPT and other tools? Like, what are your thoughts?
In kinds of like workforce कम होएगा कि नहीं कम होगा, तो कभी कम नहीं होगा. Whenever the new technology comes in, बल्कि workforce बढ़ता है rather than कम होता है. People say कि ओला उबर आ गया, अब टैक्सी वाले किधर जाएंगे. ऐसा नहीं होता. मतलब फिर उसमें जा रहे हैं टैक्सी वाले. People are working there in ओला उबर, उनकी टैक्सी रजिस्टर करके चला रहे हैं उन लोग. So in chat, I think so for fresher, ChatGPT is अगर वही थिंकिंग स्टेटमेंट पता नहीं है उनको, तो फिर वो हेल्पफुल नहीं है. बिकॉज आई हैव सीन माय इंटर्न्स ओनली, आई जस्ट गिव देम प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट, लोग जाके उसको दे देते हैं. वो कोड क्या लिख के दे रहा है उसको पता ही नहीं है बंदे को कि वो एक्चुअल में मेरा प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहा है कि नहीं सॉल्व कर रहा है. आई थिंक इट्स मोर हेल्पफुल फॉर द सीनियर पीपल, यू नो, because they are actually looking for some specific kinds of thing, and then ChatGPT को पूछ के वो उसका सॉल्यूशनिंग निकाल लेते हैं, rather than उनको एक जनरल स्टेटमेंट देने से अच्छा ChatGPT को. और मेरे को नहीं लगता है कि it will take your jobs and other kind of things, but it's more helpful in long run for a developer.
Enough. Yeah, I think we had a lovely session.